Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here in the Fuzzy Biker Garage. Happy New Year. This video is a day late, but there's reasons for that. Just gonna look out the door here real quick there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we got a whole mess of snow coming down out there. It's supposed to snow all morning, so lucky us, right? Well, Happy New Year's and a little bit of what we did last year. We rode 60,000 miles. I took that motorcycle alone to over 20 states. We're in 5 countries, including the States, Canada, America, just stopovers in Frankfurt and France, and then India for, I think it was a week. Anyway, loads of fun. Met all kinds of wonderful people. That's the best part, Couldn't do any of this without y'all. Rode all kinds of fun bikes, and so I want to start with that real quick. I usually do like a bike of a year video, and well, not a lot really changed between this year and that. Last year, the bike of the year was the Interceptor. I thought about this a lot, and I love the Interceptor and all that neat stuff, but Royal Enfield came out with a new Himalayan right there. And I have put over 17,000 miles on that little hot rod this year. And I can't really, I think that's the bike of the year for the old Fuzzy Biker this year. It's just been a whole mess of fun. The bike does everything I want. I've crossed rivers with it, climbed mountains with it. Colorado Mark, thank you. He's got a Himalayan also. We climbed all over Colorado, up dozens of mountain passes and BDR, miles of BDR track and through rivers, and just had literally through rivers, knee-deep rivers on this bike. The air intake is up here. So yeah, this is going to be the bike of the year. The runner-up was going to be that one. I'm going to say the Hot Rod Interceptor, and in this particular case, the Bear, but any Interceptor would do it, I think. Why the Interceptor? Well, the Interceptor is just a plain old fun motorcycle. It just does, every time I ride one, I just think, what fun, As far as what was the British bike of the year this year, I'm going to go ahead and say Norton Commando, and I think the big reason there is I rode so many of them, and I had such fun on them. And I also rode the John Player Norton Commando. That they only made 200 of those. I was going to choose the Vincent. I rode one of those, but that was a treat, and I really appreciate that. But I think we're going to go with the Norton Commando. So the future of this year, what kind of motorcycles we've got coming up? It's very exciting with the Royal Enfield group. The Gorilla 450 and the 650 Classic. Now, I've sat on both of those. When we were in India, we got to sit on them, but we didn't get to ride them. From a sport bike point of view, I think the 450 Gorilla is just going to be an absolute hot rod. I have had, we took these on some really windy mountain roads, paved roads, and just hammered them, and they really did really well. And I can only imagine that if it had 17-inch tires, was lower to the ground, had a more street-oriented suspension, that this thing would just be a hoot to ride, and that's kind of what the Gorilla is going to be. So looking forward to that. And as far as the Classic goes, the Classic is going to be a lot like this motorcycle, but with the Classic trim. So a very beautiful motorcycle, and I'm on the line on whether I want to get one or not. That's a big discussion I'm having with myself internally. I'm also very excited about Baxter Custom Work bikes. We've been riding that. They took a 350 Hunter and turned it into a 500. Been riding that, and that has just been an absolute machine. And they've got an 865 Continental GT they're working on. That's going to be a lot of fun. They've also got some, they've got some really good ones, and then we'll try to get some looks at that this year. And while I'm thinking about it, lots of gear. We're going to talk about gear for the Alaska trip, bags and what kind of things you can do with this. We'll also talk about personal gear, things like helmets and jackets. And I've got my Royal Enfield Nervic jacket. I was just talking about this with a friend. My Royal Enfield Nervic jacket, I wore the crap out of that this year and had no troubles with it. Just absolutely rock solid jacket. Love that thing. Moving on to our Alaska plans, that's actually been a lot of work. I cannot believe how much work that's been. That trip is going to be the highlight of the summer. We're going to try to leave June 15th, around that time. If any of you are interested in that, get a hold of us. We think it'll be from June 15th to July 15th. That we're told that's about the best time to go. It might take less time than that, depending on how many people go and what we want to do while we're up there, but that's really going to be a trip. We're going to drive from here up to Dawson City in Canada, and then that's where the Alcan starts, the Alaskan-Canadian Highway. We're going to take that it's a town called Tok, T-O-K, Alaska, and that's the whole of the highway. So that whole trip from Marnie up to Tok is going to be about 3,400 miles, and I figure it'll be 4,000 miles each way. Just plan on that anyway. We're going to spend a lot of time figuring out how to gear this bike up and a Bear up to just figure out how we can get that done. It's really going to be something else. Other things I want to do this year, I'd love to spend a month in Colorado. I don't know if I'll have the time for that, but we're going to do our best. Colorado Mark, that's a hint. There's other things, loads of camping. I want to camp every day that I can. I camped over 30 days last year. Over the last riding season, I'd like to double that this year or even more. I'm an avid camper. I love camping. Also want to get into the Canadian Rockies as much as possible. That ought to be a treat. It's supposed to be just absolutely gorgeous up that way. You know, last year we got to do Utah and Wyoming and Colorado and all kinds of places like that. And we went down to Alabama. That was amazing. All the way up to Virginia, down to Arkansas. You know, we had a pretty darn good year last year, and I hope we can do something better this coming year. It's gonna be a great year, and I want y'all to tag along. And I really, you know, okay, here's the humbling part. I really want y'all. I want y'all to tag along and you know, give me input and tell me your experiences, and you know, we're just gonna have a bunch of fun with it. I really appreciate it, everything. I want to do a shout out to Baxter Cycle. Without them, I couldn't have managed to do any of this because they've just been so supportive and so helpful. And then the other one would be Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield has just been a fabulous company to work with. So if y'all are in the market for a new or used Royal Enfield Triumph Classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, coats, helmets, jackets, gloves. I'm getting good at this, aren't I? Boots, socks, and underwear. Get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, or go to baxtercycle.com. Tell those fine folks that Fuzzy Biker sent you. If you talk to Kara, tell her hi from Fuzzy Biker. Now, it's a snowy day out there. I don't know if you can see that yet. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything on a motorcycle as far as with the engine running, but we're going to try to get some videos shot of some good old interceptors. If the weather's good where y'all are at, get out there and ride, my friends. Life is good. Wahoo!
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wahoo!